What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in, and it's finally Monday. If you don't like Mondays, find a good stock to get excited about. And every Monday morning could be like opening a Christmas present. Now, some days like today, if you got Enphase, it could be a lump of coal because it's down 3.22% right now, but what I'm going to go through is my biggest losers of today since the market opened, so for the past 2 hours, from 9:30 to 11:33 a.m. here in South Florida, and take a look and see where I'm at psychologically, what I'm thinking about all these. If you have not already, please subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, get the notifications, all that jazz, and we're off. So here's Bitcoin. I was watching this on the 1-minute chart. I started playing around with prediction markets, and I'll tell you why it's probably going to be short-lived. Maybe later in this video, maybe in another video. So, all right, let's go to the daily. First on deck is Enphase. And you see it gapped up. We had a big 21% candle put in here on an earnings call, and then it went up again the next day. So with a cumulative increase of 38.6. So if you go to the weekly here, you can see what the actual candle looked like. On this right now, I am just kind of holding strong. I didn't initially buy as much as I wanted to. I thought about buying about double the amount. I wouldn't call it chickened out, but whenever I buy, I like to take a smaller position rather than a bigger position. So if it's a win, I can just kind of take the money and run. But if it's a loss, it doesn't hurt as bad, and I can continue to dollar cost average in. It's just kind of a basic risk mitigation strategy. Anyway, here on Enphase, I would not at all be surprised to see it come down to here or here. And that's pretty much all I'm watching for now. If it continues to skyrocket and, we're at $200 next month, then oh well. I'll take the win and hopefully string some more together. Next on the list, I'm going to skip SSK because it's a Solana staking ETF. But you know what? We dabble in a little crypto here. We can look at the chart. The chart on Jesus. I honestly haven't messed with Solana or even looked at it in a while. I'm not a big Solana guy. I'd still honestly just keep an eye out for $50 Solana. I'm just not super thrilled about it. It's weird to me. I gotta just not have any thoughts on it right now. But crypto to me, I would fully expect a bounce to here. It doesn't look like we're going to get that if you keep zooming in, but this candle right here, it could easily just wick up and we could string 5 or 6 of these together and you could bang into that resistance and then go back down to 50. If I absolutely had to make the correct choice, that's what I would bet. Next is TYGO. This is an interesting one, guys. Go look. I'm not going to do a whole lot of news here. I'm more of a charts guy, but just go look at TYGO, the patents, the wins they've been stringing together in court, what they do, what implications it has for their competition and who their competition. It's essentially going to be Enphase and SolarEdge that they're competing with. So, quick drink of water because apparently I need it. Water to live. Who knew? And TYGO. A coworker texted me about this. If you watch other videos, I said that when it got here, I was fully expecting to be able to buy it between 240 and 201. But I am not so sure I'm going to get the opportunity now. I mean, it retraced to here. This one is giving me vibes of ASTS and Rocket Lab, where I was like, oh, it's going to come back down. Oh, it's going to come back down. It's going to come back down. It's going to come back down. And then next thing you know, it rips to 20. If it goes up to 18, it just rips my face off. Maybe it'll come back it'll gap up in the process, and maybe it'll have to fill this gap here at 1350. Maybe it'll bounce back to 1350, and then it could just be off to the races into the 20s and beyond. TYGO. This one, I like it. And with that, move on to Pfizer. Now, Pfizer is, here you can see my bearish and bullish invalidations. Pfizer appears to be doing pretty well. You can see there's quite a bit of a resistance here that it occasionally knocks up against. Support, break, retrace, resistance, resistance. Goes all the way down here and it starts to form an ascending trend line. And then you can see it doink if you go up to the weekly. So you're like, oh, you'll think it confirmed on the daily, but that carries some weight. It is a good sign. But then you go to the weekly and you see, oh, it didn't confirm on the weekly. Like start there, right? Because of this candle. Remember, this was our same level right there, the bottom of that candle on the daily that we were just looking at. Okay, and then you go to the monthly and it's like a wick up and wick down. It didn't even, not even a blip on the radar. So guys, when you are wondering or thinking to yourself, is this a breakout? Is it going to stay here? Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? I don't know. Higher time frames bring clarity. Matter of fact, let's go back to TYGO and look on a monthly time frame. It put in a pretty healthy consolidation phase right here. This was the consolidation phase. When something chops sideways and puts in a bottom like that, that's a great sign. It was making lower lows. It bottomed out here, and the buyers said nope. And then you went on here, blasted, made it up to 258. Then you had a little retrace, which probably, then you banged right up against the 786 on this one. Wow, okay, there you go. Look at me. That's the actual move. So you got the 786. And then it came down a little bit more because stocks be doing that sometimes, man. You never know when there's longs that need to be liquidated, right? And then maybe everybody was shorting it down here and then poof, just blew the roof off the place, right? So TYGO, would I expect a downward move? Hell yeah. I mean, that's what I do. When something goes up, you got a 119% candle right there, followed by a 30% candle, 209% increase. A lot of the times, it'll come back down, but sometimes, here's the funny part on ASTS. This is even my portfolio, man. Why am I talking about this? Oh, make it stop. Okay. Like, you can do this. And then we'll go to the weekly. And then we'll pull a fib. And then we'll go back to what I was actually doing because my ADD is just completely off the rails right now. So, yeah, there you go. Look at this. Move back to the 618 would not shock me one bit. And these things coincide on September 14th. So, I'm going to get a little downward move. Might get a technical bounce here around the 382 or the 5. Who knows? Who knows how these things act? If there's a big dump in the stock market, this is going to be one of the mid to lower caps. It's not a Netflix. It's not an Amazon. It's not a Google. It will move a lot. When the markets get a small cut and bleed a couple of drops, these things are like gushing arterial spray because they're further up the risk curve. This is when you feel rich off of all that Apple stock you bought in 2007. You take profit and you're like, all right, where's the next one? You get one of these, and you're moving riskier and riskier and riskier further up to, and then you've got crypto, which is beyond this. Maybe not Bitcoin now, but let's say you have Solana or Chainlink, BitTensor, Cardano, Algorand, all these, I'm just naming kind of blue chip L1s, past cycles, things like that. But you start to play with fly closer and closer to the sun. And then when rugs get pulled out of markets, there's guys who fall off the roof of a house, a Google, a Microsoft, a Netflix, and these fall off the roof of a skyscraper. So that's my rant for hopefully the week or something. I'll leave that there. As a reminder when I check this chart in September, and hopefully it's at $60 and where I will be a buyer. Now, not only will we go back to the daily, but we will go to Pfizer. I never said what I thought was going to happen. Up! I like this one to go up. It's a dividend stock, so even if it goes down, there's a really long trend on here too. You connect this, whoop, No, not that one. There, that one. And then if you just pull it over here, like that. Now see, it's just barely piercing. Now let's pull our price range tool. We're going to go here from where it is right this second. If it goes down to this is my worst case scenario trend line. And let's say it gets there fast, right? That's a 30% drop. Could you live with that? You buy $1,000 worth of Pfizer and you turn around and it's worth $700 and it's a dividend stock and you know they're not going anywhere. Are you going to lose sleep? I'm not. I would buy more at $20. And $20 is a nice round psychological number. If it hits $20, it's probably going to wick through $20, at least on the weekly. I think it would wick through, and then you're back off to the races again, and you can do whatever it is you need to do, which to me is about $40 a share on Pfizer. I love this right now. Again, try not to love stocks because they can't love you back. But as an investment, and some could argue that this is a bear flag, bear flag. Could be another bear flag. I mean, you could easily get a flush down to $20. Easily. You might not break through. This might be a bear flag. I never give financial advice. Copying anything I do is financial suicide, as it says in the disclaimer of this channel. But I always have to consider the downside when I go into a trade. What if I'm wrong? What happens? Will I be okay with that? What will I do when that happens? Okay. Next, 3M, which I unloaded a lot of the other day. You notice, lower highs. Look where it stopped. And it's wicking down. 3M's a great stock, guys. Great stock. But in the grand scheme of things, yeah, And so eventually it's going to have, my opinion, one of these. Or it'll go like this. Doesn't go straight down, This is like a larger cap, right? And then bam, there you go. And then over the course of enough time, there's an old level, 113. There's a gap fill. I mean, look at this. This is one of the ones I bought when I moved to America. And 3M, I love it at $100. I'm buying back all my shares. Like I said, oh no, you know what it did? I unloaded it actually right here. I'm going to go back and verify. I will post on my YouTube posts on the community, but I am about 90% sure that last Thursday I saw this big ass blue candle because 5%, it's quite the move on 3M. And I said, whoa. I sort by today's gain loss in my brokerage app. And that was the thing I needed to see. And combined with this to say, and it, head and shoulders, right? These are all the pieces I'm looking at. Got rid of 3M. Like I said, I'm a buyer down here. 104.79 at that gap fill. Thank you, 3M. I've kind of been in and out of it. Yeah, I bought it like post-COVID. I loaded up here because I saw these levels rather. I'll buy there for a technical bounce. But again, when these lines come out and look, when did I draw these? October 26, 2023. So I've been looking at these levels and thinking playing with 3M up here is like free money. So I'm taking it. Next on the list, Walmart, Fig, Oxy, Coinbase. Oh, Walmart. This is a stock that my wife absolutely loves. In her line of work, she deals with Walmart quite a bit and is basically under the impression that they will never be in dire financial straits, which is probably true. If you look, their stock just kind of goes up forever. Connect all those. and then you see those wicking through. And then we are going to pull a fib, pull one from here, and there's 786. Right? $60? Heck yeah, dude. I'll take Walmart at $60. And then the 618, $60. So I will buy Walmart at $60. I told her, I'll buy you one share. I said, we'll get you one share and we'll see how it goes. And she's up 9.16%. And I'm looking at this chart and I was like, it goes against everything I've ever known, learned, and done to buy this stock up here at the what I feel is at the end of an insane parabolic rally. But honey, if you want it, you can have it. Happy wife, happy life. One share though, one share. That's compromise, right? And when it comes down here, I'll say, hey, got you a nice 54% discount on this stock. And then we can load the boat. That's my philosophy, guys. Next, and this is one of the stocks I have that goes down forever. I bought it when it gapped down here, thinking that would be it. And I watched it kind of consolidate for a while, and I thought, okay, cool. That'll work. And then it went up, and I'm like, yay, we're winning. But only, much to my chagrin, it filled this gap. And then it just kept on chugging down back below the IPO price. Once you connect this low, and then go down to here, there is potential, and we can just, because that's nice to think that it was holding a level for a while, but that's just not who Fig is. Now this company, look into them. They are heavily used by over 90% of Fortune 500 companies for day-to-day operations. I can't think of a logical reason why this stock is currently performing the way it is. All I know is that we can be grateful and buy some. So I just doubled up when it wicked through 20. I had an order set for $20 and I doubled my position because that's what I do. So let's see if our nightmare scenario plays out. It's another 30% to the downside and we're at $15. Right now, I wait for this thing to put in a bottom. If it starts consolidating here and then we go up, or if we start kind of stair stepping and make higher highs and higher lows, that's when I will be a big believer of Fig. And then hopefully it just doesn't put in like a 300% blue candle and leave me in the dust. It gives everyone a chance to buy. But if you haven't been keeping an eye on Fig, their IPO was about $31. They came out within a couple days of Circle, I think, when every IPO was just, it would launch. Everybody was going pre-IPO on Robinhood, and people were just going balls to the wall into all these stocks. Yeah, you can see it got up to $142.92. At this price, if you don't have any, I don't tell anybody what to do on this channel. If I didn't have any and I were thinking about starting to DCA in, this is a good spot as any to do it. I mean, I just doubled my position, so that tells you what I think and how I feel. Oxy. This is one that Warren Buffett has notoriously held. And that, yeah, broke. And then that was bad news bears for that one. Yeah, I got this down at 41.36. So I got right here. It's been treating me good so far. All the oil things are what I have been getting into recently. USO, the oil ETF, CVX, Chevron, COP, ConocoPhillips, OXY, Occidental Petroleum, XOM, ExxonMobil, Halliburton, HAL, Schlumberger, SLB, Occidental. I like it. There was something else I was supposed to look at for the last stock, guys, and potentially the piece de resistance. Coinbase. Ooh, love it. I actually just bought more Coinbase at 150, which you can tell wasn't the exact bottom here. But you know what they say. You try to pick a bottom, you get a smelly finger. In the grand scheme of things. Oh, yeah, look at this. Look at this level that I drew back in an object tree, guys. This little layers feature on TradingView. and you just click on the trend line you want. Don't do anything to it because it'll change the last date altered. But then you can mouse over it, January 23rd, 2024. Okay, and this is at 1:14:57. This one is January 20th, same day, right? So clearly, I think Coinbase, this subsequent monthly wick also came down to 114.51, which is where that trend line is, roughly. And that seems to be a level. So right now on Coinbase, we're getting these. And sure, it's due for a bounce. Let me pull a little fib here. What I'm usually look for is a hitch and then a red candle. We'll try the weeklies real quick. Okay, so there's the hitch. See, it's a 618. And then you come here. And then the hitch is at the 5. So it comes up. Hitch, that's not the technical term, but that's just the first word that pops into my head when I think about that. So it comes to the 5. Here comes the 618. Top to bottom, bam, pierces the 618 right there. And then we go up to this one. So we are all the way at the bottom now. And if it were to get to the 5, you'd be looking at 293.61 for a bounce. If it were to get to the 618, you'd be looking at 329. And that would actually also make it a head and shoulders, which I'm going to get into the weeds with y'all real quick. Let's say you get the 618. Now what happens once you have a head and shoulders? Go to your price range tool, top, neckline. And then what you will need to do here is this, because I think it's going to be a long way down. If this thing were to do a head and shoulders and actually trigger and play its move all the way out and go back to the neckline, you are looking at, come on, man. Come on, man. Let's move it back here and let's try a 67.14 move. 67, I'll take that. All right, and then you're back down to, look at this. And of course, you got some support. It wicked through, but you got a $46 Coinbase. Could it happen? Absolutely. Anything can happen. Right now, this, and I'm speculating way out, this is just off the rails into the future. But if I were to do exactly what I'm doing now and just guess what could happen, I like this level for a bounce. I bought at 150. Clearly, I expect it to go up from this point because it's just been in free fall since October of 25, the last 4 to 5 months. Love a bounce here. As long as you're bouncing, come on up to 320. Get down to that neckline. Break the neckline. Like you're in a Steven Seagal film, right? And then bam, 67.04 for your 67.14 move from the head to the neckline. And then there you go. You got this level right here that it's been just knocking against all through there. And these charts, guys, look at a lot of these charts. Look at Enphase. You think you can't, you've been in Coinbase, you think you made all your money, and you think you're not going to round trip it? What do you think all these people thought? It can happen to Coinbase too, guys. Do I like it for a bounce here? Yeah. I'd definitely take profit at 300 because you're buying at I'm buying at 150. 300's double up. Guys, that's it. Thanks for sticking with me today. It's been real. It's been fun. Has it been real fun? I'll catch you next time.